Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. Indian unit of Dentsu was hit by a wave of high-profile exits in the past year amidst attempts to transform into an integrated business. From exodus of agency bigwigs to restructuring to internal audits, the business has been grappling with perception of upheaval. As a key part of Dentsu India 2.0 transformation agenda, Dentsu International announced the creation of a new market leadership role of Chief Client Officer and elevated Narayan Devanathan to this role for India last year. I'm catching up with Narayan in this exclusive conversation on what does new Dentsu look like. Narayan, welcome to Storyboard.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So Narayan, straight off the bat, a new role of Chief Client Officer was created for you amidst the restructuring and several senior level exits from Dentsu. So what did this role really entail back then versus now?
I have a fairly simple description, explanation of it when somebody asks me what exactly does that mean. Anyway, advertising jobs are, sometimes the titles can be misleading. So it's, it's like how when you're in strategy, people ask you, what do you do? And you say you're the voice of the consumer in the agency. Correct. I like to say that I'm the voice of the client in the agency. So the idea is to bring that client centricity back front and center to everything we do, so that we're not busy just selling our services or our capabilities to clients, regardless of whether they need it or not, but to be in the shoes of the client and say, what do they need? And then how do we then structure ourselves to deliver that? And so it's as simple as that.
Having said that, how did all your clients look at this entire restructuring, and have you lost a couple of them? What was it like?
So again, a straight up question that I'd be lying if I said there's been no effect at all, because there has been. But one of the most surprising, pleasantly surprising readings that we've had, we engage in something called TRR, which is like an NPS score for client satisfaction that we carry out with the clients. And we carry it out across multiple markets across the globe. And surprisingly, India was the one in 2021 where they said your relationship has strengthened. Okay, so clearly we're doing something right. And maybe overcompensating for all of the changes. But I also like to think of it as, to use a cricket analogy, right? Everybody thought the Indian cricket team would just wither away and die when Dravid, Ganguly, Tendulkar went.
Correct.
And then Dhoni came on the scene and said, nothing like that is going to happen. And then Dhoni went and said, ab to dubega India. And then Kohli came. So the change of guard, I think, is a natural evolution.
So are you the Dhoni?
No, I'm the, I don't know who I want to talk about. I think I'd prefer to be Dravid.
Okay. So what does Dentsu 2.0 or the new Dentsu look like?
So we simplified everything to now just 6 global brands. In India, we have an additional brand in post.
6 plus 7.
6 plus 1, 7, right?
Yeah.
But even more simply is to look at it as just these 3 service lines of creative, media, and CXM. And again, I want to try and see how we can eliminate conversation around using the word service line also, because it precludes us from talking about solutions. Right? Clients are seeking solutions, not just services.
Narayan, also, I had to really dig deep and do quite a bit of research. If you can, for the audience, simplify the current Dentsu India structure of media, creative and CXM.
Yeah. It's, like I said, 7 brands, right? So in creative, there's just 2 big brands. There's Dentsu Megari Bhavan, or Dentsu MB for short, and then there is Isobar. So those are the 2 creative brands. In media, we have 3 plus 1 brands. So there's Dentsu X, there's Kera, there's iProspect, which is the new age performance plus brand media agency, and then there's Post2Scope, which is our out-of-home solutions specialist. And with CXM, we have Merkle, which was the Socrates agency that we bought and merged.
What was it like to do it in the pandemic?
So we went from 23 to 7, right? So not as humongous a scale of simplification as globally, but nevertheless more complex because of how, to begin with, India is not, we are comfortable with chaos, right? So we didn't really mind that we were so many, but more importantly, the market demanded that kind of diversity. right? That if you don't have this specialist skill, you have this specialist skill, and we were catering to that. But I think now clients are asking for simplified structures to provide the solutions that they are. Was it complex? It already was as a transformation journey. Did the pandemic affect us even more? Absolutely. Because added to the flux of the transformation journey itself was the effect of the pandemic, and then on top of that, the client pressures.
Correct.
Right? I mean, we witnessed markets cutting back across the board, so we had to factor all of that in as well. And it didn't help, and maybe this is another conversation for another day, but it didn't help that even during this time, the VCs were pumping in millions of dollars in startups without an eye on ROI, the way traditional businesses were asking for, which meant that there was also a talent crunch because there was money to be had, and agencies as an industry were facing a shortage of great talent also. So all of that was a perfect storm.
I'm going to come to you about the talent question, but first, what was the kind of impact on the acquisitions that dentsu has had over the years? Some of them really these glorious award-winning agencies such as the Taproot.
So I think we'd already been on a journey. I think even if you go back, 10 years since we acquired Taproot Dentsu also, the whole point was to bring the might of the Dentsu global network to bear for a boutique agency like Taproot, right? So that we can open up the bouquet of clients that we had for them, or for that matter with WebChutney or What Consult, any of those, right? So I think we managed to move from a cultural point of view and an organization point of view quite a distance before we got to this point in the transformation journey. So has there been some effect? Yes, because we are mixing cultures that were different to begin with. But I think now we are in the process of getting everybody to ride this bus called dentsu with its specific culture.
So the likes of, let's say, a Taproot falls under the McGarry Bhawan.
Dentsu NB Group, that's correct.
Okay. What was the kind of impact on talent after this entire restructuring, and are you still feeling the ripples?
So I'll answer that in two parts. Yes, there has been attrition, but mostly along normal levels that we've seen, plus the effect of the pandemic, of course. What we've had is the advantage of building the next levels, next level of leadership, and being able to step up pretty seamlessly. But yesterday I was at an industry forum where somebody asked me, you seem to have extremely young leaders across the board. I said, they seem young and they are young, but they all have at least 10 to 15 years of experience. Clients trust them. That's the most important thing, right? So from that point of view, I think we're doing okay.
Also, I believe Dentsu India is looking to hire a new CEO. Is the search over? Have you found out your new CEO?
The search is still on, very much on. We'll be one of the first to know once we settle on it.
So, going forward, what is going to be the acquisition strategy?
I think it will be a little more measured, and maybe it's too premature to talk about it now because the transformation journey is not fully completed. But going forward, I think it will be, like I said, more measured in terms of we filled a lot of gaps in the last round of acquisitions that we did. Right? We especially bolstered our portfolio in terms of CXM. Right? So now going forward, we want to make sure that we rationalize our investments in terms of progressively again investing for the future, and not just fill gaps in our portfolio, but fill gaps in the market.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, we probably are not going to be looking at acquiring another creative agency. We don't need that. But in terms of where the industry is going next with gaming, for example, right, or investing in how the intersection of all of the crypto blockchain technologies merge into commerce, those are some of the things that we'll be investing in.
Also, you said that transformation journey is not yet fully complete. So, what to expect from this transformation in the coming days?
So, I'm willing to wager you've never heard these words from anybody else before. So, we will own next practice solutions. We will own outcome-driven focus. We will own relentless customer centricity, and we will deliver it in ways that really make a difference to clients. So, yeah, talk to me a year from now, and you'll see the results.
All the best for that. Thank you so much. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you so much, Shivani. It's been such a pleasure.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all of our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time next week. See you soon.